What's up, everybody? We are back. Sigma Swag Podcast coming at you live. I wish.
One day.
This isn't live, but you can pretend it's live. This is episode 6, Sigma Swag Podcast. We are back.
That's right. We're back, and we have a very exciting topic for you guys today. Here recently, we've both been kind of doing some research and stuff like that. And one of the things that we found, pretty much unilaterally, every successful man attributes to his success, right? One of the main factors is the woman that he picked in his life, the woman that he married. So we're going to talk today about the type of woman that you as a man should look for or avoid in your life.
So, as a young man who is building themselves and has goals, visions, dreams, aspirations, places that they want to get to in their lives, I think the best thing you can do if you're in that position is to actually avoid women and focus on your goals, because I'm just going to go ahead and say 99% of women are going to be a distraction for you. We're going to go over all the types of women that you should avoid. Don't fall for her. I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how big her ass and titties are. I don't care how big the ass and titty ratio is. It doesn't matter. I know it's hard to ignore that as a young man that's full of testosterone, because that's literally myself. I'm a young man who's full of testosterone. I also have goals and dreams and aspirations, and it's difficult to navigate the field and make the best decision when it comes to some pretty girl with big titties. So we're going to go over that for you guys. And we're also going to talk about the 1% of a woman that is extremely rare, that if you were to find her, wife her, because she's actually going to help push you to those goals, and you're going to reach them faster and be in a better position. So let's talk about that.
Let's do it. Let's go. So to start off, we're going to talk about everything that you should avoid. And then the last little bit, we're going to talk about the things that you should look for, and the type of a 1% woman that you should wife up and settle down with. So, talking point number 1, inconsistency. Inconsistent women, right? So when you're young, most people are still trying to find themselves. They're trying to figure out who they are, what they like, what they want, where they're going, things like that. And a lot of times, people get caught up with trying to find a mate, which is understandable. But like John just said, that can be a distraction. A lot of times we make that our focus instead of focusing on building up ourselves, making ourselves better, making sure that we have our money right, making sure that we've got things planned out so that our future is better than our present. And a lot of people get things backwards. They try to go out and party and have fun and do this and do that while they're young, and they make no plans for their future. So they have a really good young couple of years, and then their latter years are spent in misery because they didn't plan properly or because they chose the wrong woman. So what you want to avoid right off the bat is inconsistency, right? Inconsistent women. Women that are inconsistent in communication, in actions, and even in their own lives. You want to look at all these different factors and really be able to make a good judgment on these things.
Yep, so if she is someone that you've been talking to, maybe you've been on a couple dates, maybe they went great and you're excited to go on another date, you're excited to continue to talk to her and get to know her, but maybe her communication is spotty and flaky, maybe sometimes she'll cancel the date on you. Do not take that type of woman seriously, because she's not taking you seriously, and it sounds like someone like that probably doesn't take themselves seriously, whether they know it or not, whether that's a conscious thing or thought that they have. They're just not in a place of seriousness, and the one thing that's going to do is seriously hinder you from your progress and your goals and becoming a complete, full package man. That's so right. Avoid a woman who doesn't take you seriously. And I think the first step to doing that and achieving that successfully and knowing how to navigate through that is taking yourself seriously first in your goals and where you want to be in life. So it's okay to be selfish when you're young and you don't have kids or a wife or a spouse. Be very selfish about where you want to be and what you have going on, and then place all that other stuff second.
All that other stuff will come later once you've established yourself well. If you can establish yourself well, then the women and the good times, all of that will just automatically follow. You're not going to have to chase it or work for it. It'll chase you. But communication is one of the, a huge thing. You don't want somebody who is going to be on and off again, who you might message for a little bit and then it takes days to hear back from them, things like that. That's something that you should just kind of, there's a certain, us as men, we have certain categories that we put women in, and women that are like that, you can just put into that category. You know what I'm talking about.
Not even the save for the layaway.
Yeah, just the fun category, like the every once in a while, hey, what's up,
And even then, I would advise everyone watching this to not even give that type of woman the time of day. She's obviously got other things going on, and I would not ever let her think that she can put you away and pick you back up when she's ready to play with you again, just like a kid playing with their toy sometimes. You need to be not even her favorite toy, but you need to be just her favorite all the time. And if you're not a priority of hers, then don't make her a priority of yours.
Yeah,
because it's gonna deter you from
be the toy she can't have.
Right.
Exactly.
What's the next one?
Actions. What do you think? What are some inconsistent actions?
Basically what we just talked about. If she's, communicating poorly, if she is someone who you can go out with and have a great time, and then say you're wanting to make plans again, and then she agrees to them, and then she flakes on you a couple days later and makes up some silly excuse. What I like to do for myself in that type of position is when someone has plans with me, we have plans together, and they give me an excuse, I try to imagine myself telling someone that I'm genuinely interested in the same excuse, and I try to picture it coming from my lips and my mouth, and how that would make the other person feel. Like, okay, I'm going to say this. If you do that, it's actually, some excuses sound like really stupid, and it's like just that, an excuse. It's not something genuine.
You can see straight through it.
Yep.
All right, they're just not really
I try to always give people the benefit of the doubt, but if a woman flakes on you, I would say, hey, no problem. I know stuff happens. We can plan something later in the future if you want. Put the ball in their court, and if nothing ever happens, move on. She's a waste of your time.
Yeah, because that's one thing that I can't stand is just putting effort into things and then having her waste my time, essentially. Because if, you go through all the trouble of planning everything out. And another thing that grinds my gears is if, like, you make all the plans and then they try to change the plans. They're like, oh, well, my friend's here that she wants to do this. Would you mind if we do that? I'm like, no, absolutely not.
Yeah,
we made these plans.
Oh,
no.
That's a good one too. That actually genuinely makes me kind of angry. Is that if you have plans with some woman and then something happens where, like, one of her friends randomly shows up, which is so weird. Like, I've never had any of my male friends like just show up somewhere and, oh, they're in town, I'm gonna go see them, yay, cancel the plans. Like, don't you guys communicate? Like, that goes back to communication. Like, I communicate with my friends. I know what they're going to be doing. If they're going to be down near me, they're going to call me and let me know.
So this right here, what you're talking about, that's a big difference between men and women. Women are spastic, right? They're just all over the place. It's complete and utter chaos in a woman's world. In a man's world, things are compartmentalized. Things are much more logical. Things make more sense. That's why we kind of run things, because it just is better that way. When women are doing their women things, that's just how it is. It's always something last minute. Somebody's popping up here, somebody's popping up there. It's complete and utter chaos.
That's why you should stay away from that type of chaotic woman, because your life is going to turn into chaos, and you're going to organically have some of that portrayed onto you as a man, and all your goals, your fitness, everything's just going to go out the window. See you, bye.
And we'll touch on this again later when we talk about the type of woman that you want to lock down, because that situation is going to happen. It's going to come up, but the way that it plays out is going to be different with a woman that you should be with versus one that you should just leave alone.
And you should leave alone 99% of them. Again, I'm going to say it again, 99% of women leave them alone if you're still trying to come up. And even then, once you're at the top, you've worked so hard to get there that you probably still won't want to give most of these bitches a chance. Like,
yeah, it'll still be 99 like to 1.
Yeah.
So
stay away from bitches; they're a waste of time.
Okay, next one. Inconsistency in her own personal life. This right here is a huge one. I think we kind of saved the best for last as far as inconsistency goes. So, inconsistent with work, like if a girl cannot keep herself a job, or she's always calling out, or she's always late, things like that. If like she cannot be somewhat structured in her life, that is a huge red flag. If it's just everywhere, there's no rules anywhere, there's no structure anywhere, there's just nothing, they're just, oh, we're free. No. That right there is the quickest way to misery. Trust me, you want to avoid that. I've been there, made that mistake, never going to do it again. Moving on.
I've talked to women before in the past, and, we're going through the process of getting to know one another, and I remember one of them had told me that we're talking about schedules and what our everyday normal life looks like. And she's like, yeah, I'm not someone who has a routine or a schedule or I do this at this time. Yeah, that's not me. I just go with the flow and just do whatever, whenever, at whatever time. And as I heard those words, like immediately, I just lost so much interest because how am I supposed to build something with you and take you seriously if you're just a sheet in the wind?
Yeah. Like, that's a good way to put it. If you just go wherever the wind, like, nobody's going to take that seriously.
Yeah.
Like, right off the bat, you're just like, well.
It's like a ship.
Blow away.
It's like a ship with sails that there's no one there to adjust them, and it'll be
crash.
Blown here. It's going to eventually crash. Exactly. Don't crash. Yep. Everyone wants a grounded ship because then you're actually going to get where you're going, and it's going to be intentional and on purpose.
That's right. Intentional and on purpose. Those are good words. Next. Women with bad habits. There's a bunch of these. So, poor health choices is the first one, first and foremost.
Drink water.
Yeah, exactly. Drink water.
Starbucks doesn't count. Drink your water.
It's got to be water. Your water can't be mixed with coffee and other things or alcohol or whatever. You need to drink water, okay? Women who drink water, big green flag, right? Health choices, right? They get enough sleep. They don't drink a lot of alcohol. They don't smoke and vape like crazy. They have blowing a plume over here, right? They eat healthy food. They're not constantly eating junk food or not eating at all or eating chips and snacks throughout the day.
Let me stop you right there 1 second. I lose so much interest if I take some bitch on a date and she orders something and doesn't eat it all. Like, she just picks at it. I'm like, aren't you hungry? Like, how is that ass supposed to be plump and juicy for a long period of time? Like, you have to maintain the booty, maintain the thighs.
It's important. Thick thighs save lives.
Like,
Keep
how is
thick.
it? How? Like, how is it? It's like, how are you not gonna disappear into a twig? Like, eat.
Yeah, because if we're gonna take a girl seriously, we want to know that she is gonna be healthy for the long run. If her body starts breaking down by the time she's like 30, we're not going to want to have a kid with you. We're not going to do nothing with you except maybe practice and get some exercise.
Yeah, grandma. Who wants to put kids inside of a grandma?
Yeah. So take care of your body, ladies.
Geriatric bitch.
Take care of your body. Make healthy choices. Get plenty of sleep. Drink water. Eat healthy food. Minimize your sugar and alcohol intake because those things are poison.
I didn't take good notes. Oops. Oh, yeah. Someone that goes out and parties often and has a misguided social life. Avoid that type of woman as well. No man that's on any kind of a serious mission in life that wants to achieve something great is going to want a bitch that goes out all the time and parties and drinks with her friends. You go on her Snapchat story or Instagram story. She's always at the club. She's dancing. And then the next day, she's, I drank too much. I'm hungover. Pfft. Bitch, I was up at 6. I ran a mile. I'm eating my second breakfast. And I'm going back to lift some weights. And then I'm going to film a podcast. Like, what do you mean you drank too much? Like, can you not control? Like, how do people drink too much? This is what you have to control. Imagine lacking self-discipline where you can't control this. Like,
oh my God, I'm doing it again. It's like that. Have you seen that?
oh no, no.
Have you seen, exactly? Well, there's a thing.
I drank too much again.
Where this it's like a trend or whatever, where people will say we'll have a glass here, and then somebody's trying to pour more wine, and they're like, no, and then it turns out the camera pans out, and it's them pouring it the whole time.
Oh, they're like,
yeah. So that's exactly what that is like.
Yeah. How do you drink too much? I had an ex that she would go out with her friends occasionally, and she would always, every single time, which is why she's an ex, would end up at her friend's house, so they would drink. And she would always drink too much where she couldn't drive home. Now, she was probably cheating on me, which is, again, why she's an ex. But point being, like, how are you that retarded where you can't control your alcohol consumption? We're not in high school where drinking is new and you don't know your tolerance and you just want to have fun and party. Like, if you're 30 years old and you can't control how much you drink,
big red flag.
Like, you might as well just go sign up for welfare and keep yourself and others safe by staying home. Like, stay home. Get your cats, DoorDash, Uber, whatever you got to do, Instacart. Stay home and just be a miserable sack of useless shit. Control your alcohol.
Yeah. Another one is rebounding, or constantly, like, jumping from guy to guy right away. We see a lot of that around here. There's just, it's ridiculous. Like, they'll be with somebody one week, and the very next week they're with somebody else, and everyone's the love of their life. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. Now, one thing that everyone, I think, gets wrong in this day and age is that when you start talking to somebody, I personally am leaning more towards against the talking phase, because you're getting to know somebody, but you're not exclusive and you haven't made that commitment to them. So you should be allowed to date other people. But I'll say this. If you want a man to take you seriously, then I would only focus on him. I think it's disgusting for a woman to date this guy, and, you know, always be with another man. It's just, that's not a good look for a woman. And a man is not going to take you as seriously. Now, if a man does it, I think he's just exercising his options if he's built himself into a respectable man who you would be proud to call your husband, who would be a good provider and father, and who's going to take care of you. I think it's less of a problem for a man to go on a date with this girl one week and one the next, and whatever he does with her or them is his business, and it's up to you to decide if that's okay with you or not. But
these things need to be talked about, is basically what we're saying. You can't just be talking with somebody and go out on a date or two and then expect them to be exclusive to you, right?
Yep.
If you want that, then say that. Because, I mean, for me personally, you know, I'll casually, like, date around every once in a while. But, as, you know, if they're not making it clear, be like, hey, you know, you're the only one I want to talk to. I want us to just be our own thing. Okay, great. I'm 100% down for that. That's cool. As long as it's something that I'm also okay with, as far as, you know, whoever the female is. But there's a lot of that happens where they think that you're an item now just because, you know, you talked to them and you went out on a date.
Yep.
But you gotta communicate. You gotta make it known. You gotta be like, all right, look, and that's something that usually should come from the woman, I think. I don't think a man should be like, oh, what are we? Like
friends,
friend
zoned. Don't ever ask a woman what we are.
Yeah, let her.
That's
be
her
the
job.
One that's like, what are we? Yeah, let her be the one that does that. But as a man, you should know your mind and what you want. Don't lead people on either, because that's wrong.
Don't lead people on. I'll be honest. If a girl is interested in me, I'll tell her, like, yeah, I'm talking to other girls right now. I know what I want.
Just be straight up. If you know, if you're talking to other people, if you're not sure what you want, just tell people. It's really not hard to just be honest. Be like, hey, look, I like you, or be like, look, I like you, but, you know, I'm kind of feeling out my options right now. Just be honest.
And, oh, buddy, when you tell a woman how you feel and it's not like I'm super into you and I want only you.
When it's not what she wants to hear.
Will chase you super, super hard. It's like a dog chasing after a car. Like it's like, ha, 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 ha. Get back here. Stand in your way so you almost hit them. Like I've told like countless women just that. And I've been super honest. I'm like, look, I know what I want, but I've also got goals in my life, and it's going to take a special kind of woman, the 1% that we're going to talk about, for me to actually slow down, scoop her up, and then we're going to go together in life, and we're going to just be a power couple. And, you know, that's told to them during the talking period where we're still trying to get to know each other. We've been on a handful of dates, and you tell them that. I've never seen someone, like, up their game so hard in my life.
Real.
Like they will start cooking you meals. They'll
pull out all the stops. They'll make
pull
sure
out everything from the wifey bag that's in there.
I remember there was this weekend I had like 3 dates this weekend, and like I told every single one of them that I was like, you know, yeah, I've got, you know, a date this night or whatever, and I'm going out with somebody else tomorrow. And so the one girl was like that's really hot that you told me that. I'm like,
honesty.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to hide anything. And it was actually like, we actually had, when her turn came, we actually had a really fun date. Like,
get in line.
So, I mean, you're not going to go wrong by just being upfront and just being like, yeah, you know, I did that, or I'm talking to this person, or I asked them out, or whatever. So
that's another thing. A woman has to respect you. She doesn't necessarily have to like everything you do, but the most important thing is that she respects you. And the quickest way in history ever, with every woman from every country, doesn't matter, is lying. Women cannot stand a liar because that breaks her trust in you.
Yep.
If you're going to go on a date with other women and she's expecting you to be exclusive with her and you're not going to be like that, but you're going to tell her, she's going to not like it, but she's going to definitely respect you, and she's going to know that you're someone that she can trust to at least tell the truth.
Yep. When they know that you will tell the truth and you're not going to try to mislead them or be sneaky about things, like my brother said, they're not going to like that. You're going and giving another female attention, but what that's going to do is it's going to settle something inside of them that says, okay, I'm not going to have to worry about this guy ever, you know, running around behind my back or cheating or whatever, because he's just told me this. He knows I'm not going to like it, and he's risked me ending,
making me angry
for the truth. So that right there is a really good way to start things off.
That's another thing that just made me think of just now. I know this is kind of off topic a little bit, but why are men afraid to make women angry? Like, what's she going to do? Kick your ass with a machete? Like, oh.
They might.
Like,
they might come at you with a machete.
Like, women, why are men afraid to make a woman angry? Like, be honest, tell her the truth. If it makes her mad, like, oh, you made her mad. Oh, no.
That's actually good for you if you make her mad, because as long as you can create an emotional reaction in a woman, whether you make her happy or mad, don't make her sad, okay? That's she gets sad when you lie to them, right? Women don't like being sad, but they like being mad and they like being happy. So if you can make them one of those and create that emotional response in them, they'll be thinking about you, and then things will be much easier.
You're gonna live
it's
rent
okay
free.
It's okay, yeah,
in her
rent
head.
free. You can make them mad. It's okay, just a little bit, because they look beautiful when they're upset. They do.
Yeah,
that's
the only way to calm down a woman who's angry. They don't know how to act.
They
it's
don't.
Like you tell them they're mad, but you say, "Baby, you look so hot when you're mad. Like, look at those eyes when you're just so burning, full of fire and passion.
So much passion. And you go give them a big kiss, and then they're just like...
They're mad, but then they want to almost continue to be mad because they're like, oh, he thinks I'm cute. I'm mad at you. But really,
at that point, they're probably just pretending to be
melting.
mad because they're not mad anymore. They're just pretending to be mad.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know that they're not mad.
Yep.
So
And they start to melt.
Yeah.
They're just like,
all right, let's keep going. Moving on. Okay. The next thing is no goals or plans for a family. A girl that prioritizes a job or just her being a free spirit and going out and having fun or whatever, huge red flag. Don't go there, okay? You want to go for a girl who is going to have good, reasonable, healthy goals set for the future as far as what she wants out of life, her physical fitness, as far as wanting a husband and children. That right there is a good, wholesome girl who will do those things. Girls that don't really care about that and haven't planned for that are ones that you want to avoid.
Yeah, someone who is very career-oriented. Now, it's okay to have goals as a woman for sure, and you should. I think that's part of having something to offer to your future partner and being a complete package. But women that are so career-focused, that don't really think about kids, to me, that is a decrease in the femininity of a woman. Like, that's something
let me say something here. Let me say something here real quick, okay? That's a really good point. And one thing that I think a lot of women need to start understanding is that as men, we really couldn't care less what your academic achievements are, okay? We don't care how much money you make. We don't care how successful you've been in your career. We don't care, okay? None of that applies to your value as a woman, okay? The more advanced you become in a career is like, that's like a man thing. We couldn't care less about that stuff. We care about how feminine you are, okay? And your job, how much money you make, that doesn't matter. We couldn't care less.
If I see a beautiful woman who's working at Chick-fil-A,
we'll still scoop her up.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you do.
She might be an excellent wife. Like, she's trying. She's making an effort to go work. She's, consistent at her job. She tells you to have a great day, and it's my pleasure. Wife, you get a ring. I get my chicken wings. What do we got next
all
on
right,
here?
Let's see here. That was that. Let's see.
Oh,
we're sticking to the script today because there was a lot.
A woman who is not good with managing money is someone that you definitely should avoid like the plague, because she's going to make you go broke. She's going to cause so much friction in your marriage because you're out here working hard, trying to support the family, trying to pay for the house, everything else that comes with that, and she just can't manage the money. Like, most successful marriages in a traditional setting that I've seen, the man goes to work, earns the money, the woman manages the money.
A lot of times that's true. Yeah, I've seen that.
Now, nowadays, you have people that have been successful at doing that very thing a few different ways. Some people have their own bank account and they have a joint one. So, Tom is going to add something, Linda's going to add something, and they have that for bills and things like that, and then they all have their own money. Me, personally, that's how I would want to do it, because I would like to have my own money, and she has hers. That's just me. Some people think it's good to combine everything. Find out what works for you, but don't cuff anybody who is not good with money.
Because you're over here working 60 hours a week, and she's out buying shit from Michael's. Don't do it.
Michael's. Amazon.
All that stuff, yeah. All right, so I think we've kind of covered a really good amount of things that you should look at and avoid. Let's talk a little bit about things that are major green flags and things that you should, be accepting of, and the type of girl that you would want to lock down.
So the 1% of women that you should definitely consider wifing is someone that doesn't have a penis.
Yeah, you got to be careful these days.
Step one, does she have a penis? No, okay, move on.
Check. I think that a major thing
she used to have a penis?
That should also be check number 2.
Okay, check good, moving on. All right, what was it?
All right, so I think that she's willing to be submissive when a good man leads correctly.
A good man. That's going to bother a lot of people, because I've seen so many women get so mad so fast. I ain't going to let no man tell me what to do.
If you want a woman to obey and she's like, I'm not going to obey you. Well, that can be bitch. That can be
Get out.
That could be understandable if the man isn't doing his man things, right?
He's not a masculine man.
If he's not leading right, if he's not providing, if he's not acting right, then I can totally understand why a woman would not want to obey, and that's rightfully so. No judgment there whatsoever. But when you've got a good man who takes that woman out of survival mode, who provides for her, who protects her, who is loving and is, focusing on only her, and she still doesn't want to obey, that is the girl that you want to avoid.
It's a bitch gone bad.
Get out. If you're doing all the right things as a man, you want a woman that is going to be kind, sweet, quiet, obedient, nurturing. She's gonna, be cooking you food. She'll be keeping your place clean, buying you clothes.
All the wife
like
things.
Like,
she's
all
just
the wife.
take care of you.
She'll take care of you. She'll do what a woman does. Really good women do all that type of stuff. They take care of you in every way. They keep your belly full, your balls empty. They keep your house clean. They keep their mouth shut. They're not all right.
Shut up, bitch.
You don't want that type of girl who's constantly yelling and screaming and whatever. Okay. What else? What other qualities are you thinking that they should look for good ones?
Bitch that doesn't have male friends.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
That's a huge one. There are when you are in a serious relationship, all of your other male friends need to go away. Okay, and if you are not willing to really distance yourself from those people, your relationship isn't going to work. It's going to fail right off the bat because the only male attention and interaction that you should be having is males in your family or your man, right? All those other dudes that you think are your friends would bang you in an instant if they got the chance, and that's a fact.
And if anyone wants to test our theory, take your phone out, call any of your male friends. Heck, even a gay one may be interested. Like, oh, I guess so. I'm gonna.
There are some gay dudes that we know that would like smash the shit out of some women. Certain ones, you got to be the right one. But yeah, they'll do it. They're still a man. Like it doesn't matter if they're gay or not. He's still a man.
So yeah, no male friends. That's a red flag for sure. Or even a woman that has other friends. If she's all the qualities that my brother just spoke of, but she's got friends that are like that, guess what? In the future,
they're gonna
have an
drag her
argument
down
with your woman. Let her go talk to her friends that are the big mouths and talking that aren't respectful to their man. So that's one thing that you should be mindful of as well. Is does she have friends? Okay, yes, she does. So what are these friends like? Because she's going to go talk to them about things that are going on in your relationship. And are they going to be the type of friends that will push her closer to you and help better your marriage? Or is she going to be, pulled away and influenced in a negative way by these friends to go get that divorce? And, oh, girl, I wouldn't listen to him.
Yeah, the board of directors is going to be very involved because girls in their friend groups, you gotta check out everything.
Yep.
Because if these women are like hoeing around, there's nothing that will end a happy relationship faster than a girl with hoe friends. Okay, because those hoes are miserable. They're upset because her man took her away from them. They want her to still be out there going out with him and going on trips and doing this and doing that and hoeing around.
Trips. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a big no-no too. No girls trips.
Yep.
Absolutely not. Girls trips are for cheating. That's just the bottom line. There was this. This was like
it's a penis voyage.
This was last year. I was scrolling around on Tinder and I saw this group of like 4 women that were off in the mountains somewhere, and they were like wanting to meet up with a bunch of dudes. And I knew of I didn't know them personally, but I knew of 2 of them, and 2 of them had like dudes or whatever. So I screenshot it, and I still got the picture on my phone to this day, just to show. We're like, yeah, like girls trips are for cheating. Like absolutely not. Going on girls trips, and you know what really irritates me? When somebody's getting married and they're doing like a
bachelorette
party or a bachelor party, like I don't like either of those. Like when somebody says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to a bachelorette party," I'm like, I know what you're about to do.
Yeah, why do they do that? Like, why do they feel like they need? And I've heard a story from actually my ex, because she got invited to go, and she had brought it up to me. And she's like, yeah, I'm invited. We're all going to go wherever it was and do this and that. And, there's going to be some guys there. She's like, but I won't go if you don't want me to. Now, I partially respect that, but it would have been more appreciated if she just said, hey, I got invited to go do this and that. There's going to be guys. So I said no. She let me make the decision, which is fine. But me personally, I would have respected it more if she just said I didn't do it because I know you would be uncomfortable and that's a risky situation. So she didn't go. But they had a women's group chat going on about the trip. and they were talking about, I want one last dick before I get married. That was the bride. Like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guarantee you that if you do that, that's not going to be your last dick. You're going to have the same dick for maybe 2 to 5 years, and then
you're going to get divorced and you're going to go ride the carousel. Yep.
Pee indeed for the rest of your miserable life.
Mm-hmm. It really is sad, the decline in morals these days. It's just...
And for what, though? Like, what do you gain from a temporary 10 to 20-minute interaction that's going to ruin years, if not the rest of your life? Like, why? Why do people do that?
Because they're stupid.
I think social media gives people a false sense of how many options that they have just because someone looks good and seems available and responds to your messages. That doesn't mean that you're going to jive with somebody. You know how hard it genuinely is to find a wholesome person who is very selfless when it comes to making you happy, who is going to be a ride or die, that has their own life together, who will do anything for you to make you happy and genuinely cares about your own goals as a man.
It's a unicorn these days. Those hardly even exist.
Or even a woman, or for a woman to find a man, if you flip that, what I just said, that's extremely hard. Like, people don't have these options that they think they do.
No, they really don't. And they ruin good things a lot of times because of that false sense of, I don't know, I don't want to call it security, but like that false sense of fulfillment. And they'll go and they'll cheat and they'll do stupid things and they'll ruin something perfectly good and beautiful for, I'm not sure what.
Temporary satisfaction. Yeah. Oh, well, he doesn't touch me enough.
He makes me feel beautiful. He tells me things that you never tell me anymore. Or she makes me feel young again. Or she this, she that. No, absolutely not. Nope. Unacceptable.
Haram.
Straight to jail. Do not collect $200.
So, yeah, I would focus really on yourself to avoid a situation like that, because if you talk to the people that do this, I'm not going to say 9 times out of 10. I think 10 times out of 10, they have a problem internally where they are not secure and happy within themselves, and they're out there searching for something else to fix and fill that void. And it's really a problem that they need to fix the whole time.
Yeah, nobody else is going to fix you. That's your job.
Your happiness is your responsibility. It goes, your happiness and your partner should have their own happiness, and then you come together and share each other's happiness. You don't make one another happy.
Yeah.
That's not the goal.
Yep. You should already be, content with yourself. And if you're not, I'm not saying don't be with somebody if you're not content or happy with yourself.
But if you've already made that commitment.
Make it a goal in your life, or, something that you strive for every day. Because, nobody wants to be alone, but you should make it a goal to get a little bit better in that area as you progress through your life.
It's a relationship. No relationship is ever stagnant. It's not like you reach a certain point and then it's just like, all right, this is a good place to maintain. It's live. It's either going backwards or progressing forward. And every day you need to choose to progress forward. You need to choose your partner. And before you do that, you need to choose yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with maintaining a good relationship with yourself.
That's number one. Because so many people, we know of a guy right now who had a beautiful girlfriend and he was depressed and he wasn't happy with his job, and, he would be happy one day and sad the next, just so inconsistent. And he ended up losing her because he's a loser, because he doesn't know who he is himself. He's not grounded. He's not trying to get better. He's depressed.
He's sitting, yeah. It's something that, depression is a real thing. It's hard to go through, and it can be crippling sometimes. It can be crushing, but it's something that you have to continue to push through. Like I was saying a couple episodes ago, it's something that you can't just allow to have the final say. And it's hard to go through it. It's a lot easier when you have a support group around you that can help you and pick you up and give you a kick in the butt when you need it. But definitely it's something that you can't just sit there and just be engulfed by. You have got to keep putting one foot in front of the other. You got to keep trudging forward, and you got to keep trying. You got to keep pushing.
Me and Joe's beliefs on depression are a little bit different. I don't believe in depression. I believe you can feel depressed, and I believe that we've been given that emotion as an indicator that what we're doing in life and who we are and what we've accomplished and our status in life is not on the right path. Because if you're feeling that way, then you're doing something wrong. I mean, I've had days where I've felt depressed, but the next day, guess what? Reassess my goals and attack again, get up, dust myself off, reload, re-engage, and get after it. So you can't let depression keep you battered down. You can feel depressed, but depression in itself is not real. It's an indication that what you're doing is not correct, and you need to reassess, reevaluate, and
readjust.
Yeah.
Readjust and keep on pushing.
Push through.
Pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys have been entertained and educated. That's what we strive to do. We want to offer you guys some quality content, and would hope that we'd inspire everyone else and kind of help guide them so you can lead a more fulfilling and quality life. Look for us on episode number 7. That's going to be coming out next week. And if you guys want
go
us to
buy
talk
Rattle
about,
Energy.
Yeah, Rattle Energy Coffee. Again, this episode is sponsored by Rattle Energy Coffee. Check out rattleenergycompany.com for some cool merchandise. There's some cool shirts and some other things on there.
Some really dope shirts and things are.
And there's like 20 different kinds of coffee. There's flavored. This right here is actually Cinnabon. That's a big seller. Check that out. And remember, you guys rock. Stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous, you guys. Till next time.